So
happy 316 day.
Happy 316
Can
day.
I get a hell yeah?
Oh, hell yeah. Happy 316 day.
Happy 316 day.
Hey, yo.
What?
It's the 32nd edition of the Who Effing Knows podcast.
What?
Oh, fuck. Don't hit me with that. I can't deal with that right
All
now.
right.
I can't deal with that right now. The official podcast of Guzzlin' Rednecks Everywhere. Beer Guzzlin' Rednecks
Cheers.
Everywhere. I don't know about the other stuff. I started a little early.
Good times.
I had a half of one. I'm going to pour a little bit more as we get started here. But we're back. Dave's back in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I decided it's 316 day. What better way to celebrate having a kid other than also drinking beer on 316 day? I'm drinking bourbon. I do have something random that I thought of as we were starting this shit out.
Let's go.
Who the hell planned this situation? This is what I want to know, okay? It's 316 day.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just 2 days of absolute debauchery if you celebrate, if you partake. I want to talk to a manager. Like, who set this shit up?
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. But are we upset about that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So,
We're not
so we
upset
want to
at
thank
all.
the manager.
I'm trying to be healthy, though, so that's the problem. And drinking is not healthy. I've been doing really well with drinking.
Yeah, I hadn't really drank since the Super Bowl, except for the other night when we were all drinking on Twitter.
Oh, we did that? That was the thing?
I was.
All right.
And
I didn't get the memo.
And my new friends.
Fuck.
No, can we address that real quick? When I said I was making new friends, I didn't say I was getting rid of the old ones. I was just making new ones. The problem with the internet is you can't understand text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I hadn't really drank since the Super Bowl, and then you asked me if we were drinking tonight, and it has to have been like 20-something episodes since we both drank on the pod.
It's been a while.
So, yeah, I had gone to just coffee for a while. Well, you went through that phase where you weren't drinking. So I was like, all right, I'll join you. And then you went back to drinking some episodes, and it was just like, all right.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I try to be healthy. I go through these phases where I'm like, shit, I'm getting fat. I'm putting on weight. And then I start hitting the gym hard. And then my diet gets better, and then it doesn't get better. And I'm like, well, alcohol really doesn't help. So then I do this weird back and forth. And then I realize, I'm just going to have fun and live my life. And I'll try and drink less and eat better instead of killing myself with, really worrying about all that stuff. So I just try the 80-20 rule,
Yeah. I've been doing pretty good. So I felt like, I was like, you know what? I'll drink tonight. Probably be another week or two before I drink again.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. I mean, we have the Irish Italian parade on Sunday, but I mean, it's family stuff. I probably won't really drink. I might have a beer or two, but I won't drink until like next Thursday probably. So
yeah,
it's all
like
good.
so.
And I'll work out.
Just had the baby, so we're just kind of hanging out at the house. And I don't know. I'm not big on just like nothing against it, obviously, but like I just don't drink when I'm just sitting at home and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like if there was football going on, I might drink something, but there's not much going on around just my house, so just kind of chilling.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
feel
fair.
like drinking.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm kind of the same way. The only time that started, that changed for me during the pandemic, to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, I'm smoking a brisket or I'm making wings. Let's make a glass of bourbon. I'm grilling.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do that. So
that's different. That's different. Like if you're making something, if you're doing something like that, I'm with you. I would definitely have a drink or two.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I make dinner almost every night. So like it was hard for me once I got in that routine to not be like, oh, I'm making spaghetti for the family. Let's pour a glass of wine. Like,
also, COVID times, we just all had to drink.
Yeah, we did.
We needed
it. It was rough, man. I put on 10 pounds. Not like in COVID, but since COVID, I've put on, and that's great. It's been a couple years, and I've actually worked out a lot. So like, I'm bigger in general. But like,
I lost 10 pounds when I had COVID, so that was cool. But But I never gained any weight from COVID, but my life didn't change all that much from COVID because I was still having to go to work and I was still going to the gym at work and all that. So nothing really changed for me.
I talked about this the other day. The whole work from home thing is really what it is, right? Like I started working from home. I still work from home. And when I started working from home, it went from being in office, having not a rigid eating schedule because my company was lax. We had snacks in the kitchen. We had coffee for free. Like we'd do whatever we want. But I would basically only eat breakfast. Like I'd get there, I'd eat breakfast with friends. We'd go for a walk, come back, work, go eat lunch with friends, come back, work, take a walk in the middle. Like I was walking a lot. I was on Magazine. We're always up and down Magazine Street and hitting all those spots. So I was just a lot healthier, Just a lot healthier. We're outside. We got dogs with us again. So welcome back to the puppies. If you guys can hear them, or I don't know why they decide they want to play tonight, but it's happening.
If you don't hear them, you're liable to see something fall soon if they hit this extension cord over here.
So, but talking about drinking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I've gone so heavy into drinking here, but I did have a drinking topic. I saw something earlier that made me think of this. What's your favorite drinking game or the best drinking game you've ever been a part of?
So I'm assuming you're asking me like of the popular drinking games.
It could be anything. If you want to school us on something.
No, there was this game. It was a board game my mom got me. It might have been called Drinkopoly or something like that. And I think that's what it was because I think it was set up like a Monopoly board. I saw it on one of the social media things and tagged her in it, and then like the next birthday I had, she had it
of
for
course.
Me.
Of course.
But it was set up like a Monopoly board, and like instead of like the go to jail and stuff like that, you would land on a spot, and it would be like, all right, you and this person have to play a game of quarters, and there was a drink in the middle. And we never did this because everybody would drink like the craziest stuff. But you were supposed to pour some of your drink in there every so often, and then it was like a shot. So you were taking a shot of maybe Crown, beer, just God knows what mixed together. And I was like, we're not doing that. But
that sounds terrible.
Yeah, but the cool thing was it was like all the drinking games. So it'd be like, all right, this round everybody plays beer pong. Loser has to take this amount of drinks or this amount of sips.
Yeah.
Finish your beer.
I like that.
It was a cool game. It was fun. I still have it somewhere. I have to find it because that would be a blast. But yeah, of the generic games, beer pong.
Yeah. So, my first reaction, somebody was talking about drinking games earlier on Twitter, and that's what got me thinking of it. My first reaction was beer pong. And then I started thinking about it. And I'm like, I don't know. There's so many, right? Like there's beer pong, there's flip cup. There's Kings or whatever it's called. Presidents and Assholes, I think is one. There's quarters. There's all these games.
And then you get into the yard games. Like, can cornhole be a drinking game?
It could
because you're playing.
You can make anything a drinking game.
Like, so we play Can Jam as a drinking game. You have to have a drink in your hand when you play with us.
Yeah.
So it's the rule.
Yeah.
I don't know how other people play. We're just alcoholics.
I've only played Can Jam one time. I did not have a drink in my hand. But it was a lot of fun.
Can Jam is fun.
I could see how it'd be fun. No, I think if I had to pick one, there's one that's a main one. Obviously, I just named it in the ones I said. It's not beer pong. I'm going flip cup. I love flip cup. I don't know why. Just something about it. Quick rush. We used to do flip cup when I played kickball. We'd do King of the Hill after. And like it was a kickball league, but it was also a flip cup league. So it was really cool. You'd meet up at the bar after, and you'd always crown a champion at the end of the night for that, which was always fun. There's also, I'm going to give a lot about myself away here, and I want to preface this before I say it. I was very young. I'm much older now, much more mature. You do a lot of things when you're young that you're not proud of, but I am an open book. I'm transparent. I'll talk about anything. There was an app that you could download from the App Store when I was younger. It was called Piccolo. Anybody out there that knows what it is already like, oh yeah. Is
it still in the App Store?
It probably is. I don't know. You could probably look it up. There was like a free version, a paid version. You could do the same stuff on both, but the paid version had like more. So there's different levels to this app.
How do you spell this?
Piccolo, I think. There's different levels to this app. There's like a bar version where you play with friends. There's like a caliente version where it's like a hot version, which was the spicy one everybody always wanted to play. And essentially what ended up happening is we'd be with a group of friends, and the game is like, it'd be your turn. You pass the phone around. It'd be your turn. You read what's on the phone, and essentially it says, everybody in the room that has a crush on so-and-so drink. And then you do it. And it gets dirty, though. It gets pretty freaking raunchy from there. It's like, hey, put your hand on the person you're most attracted to's crotch or drink. Jeez. So, like, it goes down rabbit holes. Now, it doesn't, like, cross more than that. Like, that's still pretty bad. Kissing, things like that. It does that. But it's... As a young man,
they smoking crack. They want $5 a week for this app.
Oh fuck yeah! No. It was not $5.
I wasn't shaking my head at your story. I saw a $4.49 a week, and I was like, oh no, thank you.
Yeah, no, hell no. But to any of my young single gents out there, early 20s, hanging out with other single ladies, if you're looking for a fun party game and you're all consenting, that's important. Consenting. Go ahead and download it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, beer pong was mine. We used to take beer pong very seriously, like me and like my circle of friends. Like we had tournaments every weekend. We bought 2 like fake WWE belts from Walmart. I turned them into beer pong belts, basically like glued cups on them, balls, all kinds of stuff.
Nice. I love it.
And we would do tournaments every weekend. Whoever held the belt, it was at their house. If you held the belt, you made the rules, so it was your house rules. So it always changed. We'd have at least, like, for doubles, we'd probably have 12 teams there every weekend, and just buy like a keg of beer, throw a party.
How did I miss out on this? This is awesome.
Well, I think I was still in college at the time. I have the pictures somewhere. If I have the pictures, I'm gonna post it of the belt because the belt was awesome. Well, Chad. He I think his friend is the last one to have it, and I never got it back. Maybe it's time to get it back, and we run a tournament.
Yeah, we could definitely run a tournament. Listen, I've got friends, myself included, that are really, really good at beer pong. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done it, but we used to.
I used to keep my record in my phone.
No, there's a friend of mine. I shit you not. There's a friend of mine that like all time we're like 105-3. Like we just don't lose. Which now I say that and we'll go play somebody. We'll get our ass kicked.
Yeah, that's how me and my friend Aaron are too.
People hated us. But no, I used to go to. There was one bar, but I used to go to a bar when I was younger, and they would have tournaments every Friday. And it would be like $5 to enter, and you won a bar tab if you won. I think I won that tournament like twice, 3 times, something like that. It wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. I love beer pong.
Yeah. Oh, it's a blast. Now I want to play some beer pong.
I would do it. It's dangerous, right? Like now that I'm older, I'd still do it.
So we transitioned into, now that I'm older, we all drink while we play, but we play with water. But everybody's constantly drinking.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of transitioned. Now, when we just went to Vegas, the hotel we stayed at had an Irish bar or Irish pub downstairs in the casino.
Yeah.
And they would do beer pong every night. So our pregame, before we went out every night, was go play 2 or 3 games of beer pong. You buy the pitcher for $10, and then you just go play. So we were drinking the beer that way. But before then, it was like you want to drink this. I want to drink beer. So we're just putting water in the cups. We're drinking what we're drinking. That's how we've transitioned in old age.
So same. And it's funny, though, because, like, and I know anybody who's listening is going to look at this and be like, oh, you're fucking gross. I kind of miss when I was younger just not giving a damn about what the ball touched. I mean, granted, we cleaned it off. Like, we washed it out before we put it in the cup. But I do kind of miss playing with actual beer or whatever in the cups because the forced, like, oh, you got to drink that now, as opposed to, like, if you just make a water cup, it's like, okay, cool. Take a sip of my beer.
Did y'all do the thing where if you lost, you had to finish the other team?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that made it better for me. You know, like, it was more of like a...
You definitely got... We would get more drunk playing that way than we do now.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's still fun. For me, it's more the competition of it than anything.
I feel the same way, but hear me out. I think... My first thought just now when you said that is I would just rather play like cornhole. If I'm just going to have a beer in my hand and play a game where I'm competing, I'm just going to play cornhole.
Yeah, like, I agree. I can agree with that for sure. Just, I don't know, just something about a good beer pong game every now and then, you know?
Nothing wrong with it.
I used to have a party at my house, and we're going to have beer pong. We set up beer pong for my son's birthday parties.
Oh, fuck. You guys are those fans?
Dude, my family is, listen, it took I think it took a while for my wife's mom to kind of understand what my family is.
Fair.
Know?
You're a Shalmation.
Yeah. So, like
Shout
everything, every party it is, birthday parties, anything, Christmas. I mean, everybody drinks on the holidays, but
Right.
baby showers, we drink, and it took a while for them to, I think, to kind of understand what we are. and my family, like my mom, doesn't hold her tongue, so she would make it known, like this is how we are. If you don't like it,
You can get.
I don't know what to tell you.
You know, I don't. So I didn't. Thankfully, or not thankfully, it's not a problem either way. But I didn't have that problem with my wife. My wife doesn't really drink though. To be fully transparent,
It wasn't a problem.
No. Yeah, but no, it was not even a like. But that's not even a thing with her family. We show up. They have mimosas for every party, basically wine. Not a lot of like beer and liquor, but still like something. At my family gatherings, my dad doesn't really drink. My sister drinks a little bit, but we're more of like a cocktail party. Like my aunts and uncles on my dad's side really enjoy like a nice cocktail, so like I'll do that sometimes. And then at like my mom's side, which everybody's divorced, so that's why I'm going all these different sides. They're like wine and rum, and so like they're always there's alcohol everywhere. Yeah. Needless to say.
No, we do a big family party. We haven't done it in maybe 2 years. But for like 12 years straight, we did, really like after Katrina, we started doing it. Just a big family party at my grandma's. She's got a big backyard with a pool and everything. So every summer, we'd invite like all our family, and then like everybody we grew up with in Chalmette. Like all my Chalmette friends would come. My uncle's friends would come. So it was like maybe 50, 60 people there. And it's just cases of Miller Lite just lined up, like ready to go. And that's just what we did. We'd get a big water slide every year.
That's fun.
And it was just a party. We called it the Tracy Bash. We make like koozies.
Why
and all
doesn't it happen anymore?
I think my grandma just kind of, she won't ever say it, but she kind of she's one of those people where if you do something at her house, like everything, she wants everything perfect.
Gotcha.
And we would always tell her, like, just tell us what you want to do. We'll handle it.
It's not the same, though.
It's not
the same. Because
right.
she has to have a hand in it, because then she knows it's perfect.
And it just,
I know people like that.
And it's like,
I'm that.
We all have our own houses now, but she's got like a 60, 70-yard long backyard. Like, it's perfect for all these people.
Right.
So it just, I don't know, nobody's really, she just hasn't wanted to do it in a while. We mention it every year as like possibly trying to bring it back, and we always say it'll be small, but we all know it's not going to be small. So, yeah, that's just all it is. She kind of got tired of dealing with it, I guess, and we didn't want to throw that on her, but I don't know. You'll be invited if we do it again.
I would love to be there. I love a good party.
Just a quick drive to Slidell, and that's it.
It's not that far from me anymore. I grew up in Slidell. Shout out Slidell. A lot of people don't know that about me. From like a year in to like when I was like 10, I lived in Slidell. So Slidell is definitely like
nice.
Yeah, definitely home for me to an extent.
Well, we're like 20 minutes in. We should probably start talking about some sports.
I was actually about to do that. I had a note to talk about my anniversary weekend. I don't care. We'll talk about that another time.
Oh, we can circle back around the non-sports stuff.
That's
fine. We can sports sandwich here.
I love a good sports sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, love a good sports sandwich.
Because I have a sports topic for you later. So
I got one right now. We could just jump in. I got all caps right here. It says Michael Thomas is back.
It's not all caps. He's a liar.
Shut the fuck up. Don't call me out. It's got exclamations though.
It does have exclamations. I can vouch for that.
Could have been all caps.
Yes, he is.
He's back.
He's back.
He's fucking back. And listen, I want to jump in on this because I do want your thoughts, but I do want to jump in on this. Got a lot of friends. I love y'all. I got a lot of family. I love y'all. I got a lot of people on Twitter. I love y'all. All those people out there that want to talk shit about Michael Thomas, I'm screenshotting your shit. I'm just letting you know. And the second he has a good season, I'm coming at you.
So I posted on Facebook. I shared our post on Facebook, and all the comments were, or not all, but most of them were like, for the 7 games he plays, or this Olave is better because he can actually be there. Didn't even comment. Normally I go back and forth with people. We're just going to let it play out.
I saw one, Michael Thomas out for the year, hurt his hand signing his contract, and it took everything in me not to respond because I love this guy. He's hilarious. He's a good dude. And I don't know if he watches. If he does, dude, I love you, but like, come on, stop.
Yeah. I was thinking about this when he signed. I think he might be my favorite Saint of all time.
I do like him. He's not my favorite of all time.
Just that So my favorite players, for the most part, are all receivers because that's what I grew up playing. Like, Andre Johnson. Sean Taylor is my all-time favorite. That's just a Miami thing. Andre Johnson is the receiver and the Miami thing. But, like, Colson was my favorite Saint.
Right.
And then, I don't know, just the way when it was the trio of him, Ingram, and Kamara, that was the best of times, And I think I just grown. The second he did the cell phone thing, I was like, this is my guy. I love him. And I think he became my favorite player.
People, it's funny because, like, you love him for that. I love him in general. People hate him for some of that stuff too. Like people hate polarizing figures like that. Maybe it's deeper rooted. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole because I don't want to do that. I'm not the right person to do that.
Yeah.
But people hate him for that. Some of that stuff, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I love a good wide receivers are supposed to be flashy. Like, if you're good and you're good,
right? Colston was the outlier there.
I know. That's the crazy part, right? Because he was really good.
Yeah.
Quiet storm. The quiet storm. Like, I don't know. But yeah, Michael Thomas is back.
I'm excited, man.
We could dissect it from a. That was the excitement. We both went into emotion. We didn't talk about any like actual.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, there's nothing to really talk about. Like.
Oh, there is.
Is it with him? It's because we know what it is. Either, like, obviously, either he's gonna play the whole season and be great, because we already saw it. He was on the path to being Michael Thomas again. Like,
yes.
So it's either he's gonna play and be great, or he won't be healthy. Like, that's the two options here. Yeah. I don't think there's an in between. He's still in his prime.
Yeah.
What injury is he dealing with now? Is it the?
Dude, I don't.
It's not the same one, right?
I don't even know. I really don't even know. And
I forget what it is.
Listen, we're not talking about that.
No,
we're not talking about what injury he has or had or any of that. He's back.
Well, the only reason
he's gonna be healthy.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is because it's like, I don't know. It's not like a lingering thing that we got to worry about. I feel like he's been off for long enough. Like, we're good. The dude's coming back. He played what, 1 game, 2 games,
2 games
last year.
Dominated both of them.
So he's realistically had 2-3 years to get healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. Like, the dude's coming back. I said it on Twitter. I will never count out anybody with that kind of work ethic.
Dude.
No,
I'm
never.
telling you.
I won't do it.
So if you, I feel the same way, right? And like, if you go, I'm glad that you brought up his time last year, because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, he's been hurt forever. Like, do we even know if he's good anymore? And I'm like, first of all, if you look at his 2 games last year, he wasn't only good, he was dominant. Like, he was phenomenal. You could not guard that guy. Now, granted, he was injured. You have camp. We'll see. I have no doubt that when he comes back, it's gonna be like,
the sole reason Jameis fans had hope.
He is. Yeah, he made Jameis
not even a joke.
Look good. No, I mean, Jameis had his moments, but no, like, listen, him, Olave, Shaheed, whoever else we end up with, they made. I am more comfortable. I've always been very uncomfortable with the running back position ever since the beginning of last year. I'm more comfortable now with Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, say what you want about him. The dude had fucking 17 touchdowns. Oh, they're 1 yard out. Okay, cool. Like, we were on the 1 yard line a lot of times, didn't get in. Like, give me him. I want 17 of them things.
See, that Wildcat, I call it Wildcat. That Taysom and him package is going to be so good.
Call it the BYU.
Yeah, so
because they played together at BYU. I don't know if
somebody called it the Storm and Mormon package.
There you go.
I love it.
I don't think Jamal Williams is a Mormon.
I don't know, man. Listen.
He got kicked. Fun fact, this is something I actually know. I read it last year or 2 years ago. He got kicked out of BYU. I can't remember the story now, but he got kicked out of BYU because he wasn't following some random rule, like something stupid.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
We're not going to talk shit about Mormons.
He's a goofy dude, bro. But he's just from I didn't know anything about him until Hard Knocks last year. Like, all those Hard Knocks clips went viral. Like, give me that guy in my locker room. As goofy as he is, like, he could tell he's a locker room guy. He's a leader.
For sure.
Like, give me that 10 out of 10. I love it. Like, I don't know. I feel like you can get we're just missing the juice, man, on offense, and you feel like he can bring it, and I'm excited about that. Both in the locker room, and because, like I just said, the fun times were Ingram and Kamara being like that duo off the field, not even so much on the field.
Right.
Like all the videos on the sideline of them cutting up.
Having fun.
Yeah, I want to see that again. Give me somebody that's going to bring that to the locker room.
We still have that, to be fair. When you're losing games, it's not fun.
It's true.
It's not fun. That's the problem. You're not going to sit on the sideline and dance and party when you're losing games, right?
That's true.
Like, if you're an athlete, if you're competitive at the level that I know a lot of these guys are from what we've seen, like, they're not going to be okay with.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, with last year, it is different having DA to Sean, because Sean would do all of that. Sean was a petty guy. He would participate in all the nonsense on the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen pictures of DA doing that kind of stuff in the locker room.
I love it.
But we don't really.
It's my go-to picture when people talk shit about him. Like, that's our coach. Look at this.
Yeah. There's only a couple times where you see him, like, get that excited on the sideline.
Yeah.
He did, like, stare a killer down in his face that one time, though.
I love it.
So, like.
I love it. He's fucking wild. He's a wild boy.
Yeah.
Listen, say what you will about DA. I've said some things about DA. Oh, I stepped on my dog's tail. I feel like a terrible human. I've said some bad things about DA out of frustration last year. We had the same record we had the year before. We had the same amount of injuries. Basically the same result as Sean Payton-led Saints. The one silver lining, feather in my cap, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to give to DA is people want to play for him. Like, people are coming here, right? Like, Carr came here. I mean, say what you want about Carr. They're like, oh, is he this type of quarterback, that type of quarterback? He could have went wherever he wanted. He had suitors. Don't tell me he didn't. Jameis freaking Winston came back. Now, granted, there's probably some monetary reasons for that. But, like, people want to play for him, it seems like.
Yeah, that was something we said last year, too. Like, as bad as it got, it never felt like he lost the locker room at all.
Right.
You know, it seemed like it never felt like a team that gave up. You know, there was times where it felt like a poorly coached team or just an undisciplined team, but it never felt like a team that, like, gave up on each other or on the coaches or anything. You know? So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, we said it before. This is what we got. So what's the point of at this point is like,
oh, I'm riding with it.
Yeah, you have to. Like, you can say what you want. Like, I'm still not a fan of bringing all of them back. But it's what we got. And I'm going to ride with it. And if it doesn't work,
it's my family, bro.
I've said it. Look, I've said it already once before last week. I think is what I was when I said it. This is the make or break year. Like, this is a win-win for both sides. Either they're good and the team is good, or they're bad and we probably start fresh the next year. Everybody gets what they want at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if you're actively rooting against the team because you don't like the coaches, like,
go root for the Browns.
Right.
That's where you end up.
Like, not to say like I won't complain if
go
we
root
look
for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Right.
They'll be good. No,
right.
Actually, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
No, I'm all in, and not in a sense of like some people are like, oh, I see a lot of people getting really excited. Calm the fuck down. I don't know if we're like Super Bowl bound or anything, but like the team looks promising, right? Like
they do this every offseason, do they not? They find a way to get you to buy in.
They do.
Like
they do.
You know what it is? It's the fact that every offseason, like, national media comes in, the Saints are blah, blah, blah over the cap. They're not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to do that. And as bad as the Saints can be the worst team in the NFL, Saints Twitter will unite over national media trying to come at us.
You guys can go somewhere.
So it brings us all together, and we're like, and then we make a few moves, and we're like, all right, I'm on board. Like,
I love that, dude. I love how petty New Orleans as a city is. Not just Saints fans. Pelicans fans are also petty. New Orleanians in general. I don't know if we're more like. I admittedly like didn't grow up in another city. I don't know, but like we feel like the pettiest bunch, and I'm all in on it. Like I'm here for it. We've tagged Nick Wright countless times. Every signing, every restructure, and we literally just quote what he said. Like, we don't say anything else.
I said it. I didn't even tag him. I said it within like seconds of signing Jamal.
You could search that phrase, the exact wording, and you're gonna see 300 Twitter messages. Like it's hilarious.
It is funny. It's just it like I said. It's like that. It's the typical like. If somebody insults your friend, you're like, whoa, I could call him that.
Right,
You
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. That's okay. So 2 weeks ago, when Rel and I did the podcast, we were talking, and I said I wasn't going to talk Pels. I'll talk Pels for 1 second here. We were talking about Willie Green, and it was like the whole discussion, like, you know, is it time? Blah blah blah. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. But if you think that I'm not going to sit here and question him or say things about him, you're out of your damn mind. But the thing with him or with other players on the Saints or really wherever, Tulane, whatever it is, if I'm criticizing someone, it's not because I want them gone or I hate them. If I want them gone, I'll say that. I'll never hate them. It is what it is. Sometimes you just suck. You can't control it. It's like criticizing a little brother. Or like I criticize my wife. Like she criticizes me. Like there's room for criticism, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't mean I want to get rid of you. Like you're at the end of the day, I guess what I'm getting at is that at the end of the day, you're basically still like family, right? Like
right.
It doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean I don't want you here. It just means tighten the fuck up. Like,
right. But
do better.
They are not allowed to.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Right.
Exactly. Listen, I know what I just said. Now if you say it, we're gonna have a problem. Don't come over here with that nonsense.
Yeah, man. So, you know, we talk about Mike. We talk about, you mentioned Derek Carr. Just, you know, a macro look at where the Saints are right now. How are you feeling? You like all the moves? I'll be the first to say I don't know much about the 2 tackles they signed. I know that the one from KC is pretty good, or at least a starter.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything about the guy from the Jets. But they seem like good signings. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be a step back from what we had.
Yeah,
at least like we talked about individually, it doesn't feel like it. Replacing the group, we'll see.
That's the question, right? So when you replace the group, there's a learning curve. The guys we got rid of all knew how to play our style of defense. Are we revamping the defense? Are the guys coming in going to be able to understand our terminology? Like shit like that. It is what it is. If we're just talking about players, your boy from KC, I'm excited about. Kalen Saunders. What's his name?
Man, if you 320 and can do backflips, I'm riding.
Dude, I've seen so much fun stuff about that guy, and also good play on the field. I mean, he can move.
He showed up off the plane today in like a throwback Lil Wayne shirt and was calling Wayne the GOAT. So I'm like, all right.
I love it. He's definitely a fun guy, a culture guy. Yeah. He's going to be great in the locker room.
Some guys, when they sign him, you can tell right off the bat.
Right.
Like this, we're going to like this guy.
Yeah. He's definitely one of those guys. And his play on the field, from what I've seen, it's promising. Kansas, I always, this is what I do. I always go see what is his former team saying about him. Are they upset that he left? Like, what are they happy he left?
Like the fan base?
The fan base, yeah. KC fans seem a little bummed that he left. And I'm like, okay, maybe we got a good guy. Now, on the other hand, if we're talking about your boy from, I can't remember his name, Nathan
Shepard.
Yeah. They talk about him like he's ass. Like, it doesn't look very promising if you look at the other fan base and what they say about him. But what I will say is I have seen some scouts and some coaches talking about him and basically saying, listen, he is very talented. Mm-hmm. He got no playing time, and he can't learn if he doesn't get playing time.
Right.
So I think he's got a lot of upside. I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with the Saints is, like, he's not, no matter who it is, even Saunders is not coming in expected to be the guy. You know what I mean?
No.
The Saints rotate. Well, if you can play on the D-line, you're going to get playing time with the Saints. Like, and you got to imagine they draft 1 or 2.
Oh,
and they may not even be done signing. Well,
they signed another defensive. Was it a linebacker? Who'd they sign today? I wasn't as up on it. I've been up on it, very up on it the last couple days.
See.
I saw something come across. We can move the discussion along.
But
I'll look into it.
No, overall, I've talked about it a lot. Because I've been, it's mock draft season, so I've been doing that a lot lately. Yeah. The best thing about all of these signings is that now they can truly do whatever they want in the draft. You can go best player available no matter what. I think they need an edge rusher. Oops. I said, they need an edge rusher, but I don't know if it's a big enough need that you have to reach for somebody. And hopefully they learn from Turner and Davenport. Like, you're reaching for these guys, and it's just not. It doesn't work out. Take your best player available. And we joked about it a little bit on Twitter. If it's an offensive lineman,
it wasn't a joke.
No, they're gonna. I'm already expecting that's what they're gonna do. I I'd just take best player available every pick. Like you have the freedom to do that now, and that's what I think they should do. Like if you're in round 2 and there's a good wide receiver there, like you don't need another wide receiver, but if you could get somebody there, take them. Because
I agree.
You don't. They're really. I don't know if you agree or not. To me, it seems like edge rusher is the only position of need. Maybe another running back with Kamara if Kamara is suspended or however long he's out. You need somebody else behind. I have faith Jamal Williams can carry the team now.
Carry the team. That's a very strong statement, but
be a serviceable running back with somebody else.
Yeah, he's a 1-2 punch. Yeah. You can throw somebody else with him.
I'm not giving 20 carries a game. That's not what I'm talking about. But to step in and you're not going to lose a whole lot from Kamara to him.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's obviously a talent gap there. But
the major talent. Well,
you know what I'm
different
trying
players.
to say.
They're
right.
different players altogether. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
I would still draft a running back, but now you don't have to go a running back in the first 2 rounds. If you can get a couple guys, I mean, Taji's going to be there in the 3rd, maybe the 4th.
There's plenty of the draft is deep at
There's
running
a lot
back.
of running backs.
There's a lot of running
There's
backs.
a lot of running backs.
Do I want Tajay? Of course, but that's because I'm a selfish Tulane fan and I love what he did at Tulane. And the problem is if he signs with the Saints or if he gets drafted by the Saints and doesn't play well, I'm going to be heartbroken.
Yeah,
I would rather it happen somewhere else.
No, there's plenty of running backs that you can get. I mean, Gibbs, Tajay, Deuce Vaughn. There's a bunch. Like,
isn't Gibbs? He's like a first or second round pick, right?
He'll be in the 2nd round probably.
Okay.
I mean, I say that you never know. Somebody could take him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't supposed to be a first round pick, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, it was stupid.
So.
Yeah, it was dumb. Storm Norton was the person I was thinking of, not a linebacker, not a defensive player, he's a attacker. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. Draft wise, I agree. I totally agree. I'm all in on best player available. I do think that just in general, you said the need might be edge rusher. I agree. But I think just D-line in general. I think the whole even with the 2 signings, like I think you still need D-line. It could be a tackle. I mean, yeah, it could be a nose guard, whatever we're talking here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you say D-line. I'll even go as far as say front 7.
Yeah,
because you can use a linebacker
for sure.
DeMario took a little bit of. It's weird because he took a little bit of a step back last year, but he made his first Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I felt myself in the same boat. Somebody was talking about DeMario as if he was phenomenal, and it's not that he's not. But like my response was kind of like, hey, well, like let's temper our expectations here. He is getting older, and last year he took a step back. It may not have been noticeable, but
it was his worst year as a Saint,
right?
But it was still a great.
It was
year.
A good year.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to hate on DeMario,
right?
But I wanted to be like, hey, like it's coming.
It's coming. You plan for the future. You get ahead of it. Which is why I've been upset with the Caden Ellis thing, is because it felt like you might have had your next guy there.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
But you don't know. Well, I mean, if you see what he got, money-wise.
No, yeah, I'm fine with him going somewhere else. But for me, I looked at Caden Ellis the way I looked at T.J. Hawkinson, which I was wrong. Not T.J. Hawkinson. Jesus Christ.
Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. As if I'm a fucking Trey.
Jesus.
We'll just edit that out. It's fine. I'm a Saints fan, guys.
God.
No. That's what I meant though. Trey Hendrickson. Not a tight end. But no, that's how I looked at it. That's the comparison I made in my head, and it was like, is he that good? Is it a flash in the pan? Is he just performing because he's surrounded by these guys that whatever it is? And then he got paid, and it's like, well, we're not going to give him that contract. So I'm comparing the two,
right?
In that sense,
it's somebody you would love to keep, but if somebody offers him a huge bag, you're like, all right, you just can't do it. And that's where the salary cap situation comes in. Sometimes is like, if they'd have had a bunch of money to spend, they probably would have kept Trey Hendrickson.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. I disagree. I think that's what media will say. But I think that Mickey just has a way of looking at it where he's like, hey, I'm not going above this number. This is the number.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
Well, the difference with Trey also was he was part of the class where you had somebody in that class was getting left out. You know, like you had Marcus Williams coming up the next year, which obviously they ended up not paying him.
Right.
But you had
Same thing with him. It was like, hey, we have a number.
Yeah, you had Lattimore, Ramczyk. All those guys were all within that time frame, and it's like, all right, you can't. Like we knew, and then with the cap went down or stayed the same because of COVID. Just bad timing with all of that. But I've said that to me for Ellis, I love Caden Ellis. I think he's a good player. I don't know that he'll have the career of Malcolm Jenkins, but it has that feeling where it was like, all right, this is a good player. And it just feels – Sean had said for years that was the one sign, and he felt – or there was two, Ninkovich and Jenkins were the two he was upset he let leave the building. And that's kind of how I feel about Caden Ellis. Maybe he doesn't end up being a Malcolm Jenkins level player, but he I don't think there's any way he's not a serviceable linebacker. Whether he's worth what Atlanta paid him, I don't know. But
there's just so many thoughts in my head right now. There was one thing I was going to say, and then you just reminded me that all of our players are all over the NFC South. So I was going to talk about that. And
it's weird.
It's so weird.
Just go somewhere else.
It's so weird. Like, it's fine. I mean, but what I was going to get at is when you have such deep draft classes, we've drafted really well, and I hope it continues.
Yeah.
It seems like it will because those guys haven't left, unless you attribute it all to Peyton, which you shouldn't. Granted, he has a big say in it, or he did. But like we've drafted really well. If you're drafting 5 good guys or 4 good guys every year, you're not going to keep them all.
No,
it's not happening. So like you're going to see guys like that walk out the door, end up somewhere else, and play well. It's going to happen. It happens to other teams all the time. It is what it is. But no, it is weird to that second point that, I mean, all of our players are all over the NFC South. I mean,
it's not as weird with Atlanta because of Terry Fontenot. But
well, and you got Nielsen who's there, and like there's a lot of defensive players that went over there, so it's fine.
Yeah,
like I get it.
Yeah,
it makes sense. They, you follow people you're comfortable with, and you sign people you're comfortable with that know your defense. I get it. But like Andy Dalton, something else. I was the one that commented from our pod, or not our pod account on Twitter, basically saying like, should we be worried about Carolina like a little? Is this a thing? Like,
listen,
it was like
people keep saying no. If they hit on this quarterback, they swept us last year.
They have a deep roster. I know they traded their top wide receiver.
Right.
I get it.
But you know what I look at it? They have draft, like even after that trade, they have draft picks.
Yeah.
And rookie receivers come in and make huge impacts immediately now.
Yeah.
If you hit on that quarterback,
that's the thing. Here's the thing, right? I'm one of those guys that'll tell you like running backs are a dime a dozen. You can always replace running backs. I firmly believe that. You do not pay running backs. You can churn them out. People kill them for getting rid of Christian McCaffrey. He's phenomenal.
Right?
He's great. It doesn't matter. You can get somebody else.
They didn't lose a step in the running game.
No, that's what I'm saying. And then outside of that, I think second to that, wide receivers are the same way. You can find so many good wide receivers every year out of the draft. Like, you'll figure it out. I would rather gamble and go get a dominant quarterback. Now, who they draft is to be seen, right? Like,
it is weird how they're handling this.
Yeah, I don't get that. If they really draft Richardson first overall, I'm going to die laughing and just be super comfortable.
Just to touch on it real quick, it's, to me, all right, so first off, I would not have been happy had the Saints made that trade. I feel like you make that move, like you trade. Now, granted, they had a bunch of picks from trading McCaffrey and all of that, so maybe it's a little different. But like the Saints have made that move, you only do that for next year if you're getting Caleb Williams.
Right.
Like somebody you feel is guaranteed. There isn't a single quarterback.
You could argue.
Maybe Stroud.
Yeah, you could argue Stroud or Young. That's it. But if you're whispering Richardson, I'm like, what are we doing here?
And the biggest thing to me is you don't trade up to one and not know who you're taking.
Yeah, that's crazy. They have to know. And that's got to be bullshit.
For there to be rumors of them saying, you know what, maybe we'll trade back. Like, why?
It's got to be bullshit.
It has to be. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, that's the weirdest thing to me is if the Saints made that move and they said we're going to get Stroud, I'd be like, all right. I don't know if it was worth it, but if that's who you think your guy is, then let's go.
Do you think so? This brings up another question though. Do you think it's Stroud or Young that should be number 1 overall?
I like both of them. I think Bryce Young can be good, but I think I would go Stroud. Now, it's not fair of me to do this, but I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. Just the history of Ohio State quarterbacks. And if one Ohio State fan tells me that Joe Burrow was an Ohio State quarterback, I will be upset. No, it's not fair of me at all to like put past Ohio State quarterbacks on C.J. Stroud. You know what I mean? That's really my only hesitation with him. And then, I mean, I guess some people have the whole thing where he's playing with Smith and Jigba. If that's how you say that, it's got to be close.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name, but I know
Marvin Harrison Jr. Like he's got this loaded team, but like every top quarterback, Joe Burrow played with the greatest group of receivers that has ever been assembled in college football. You know what I mean? So I don't discount him for that. For me, it would be Stroud. My buddy actually asked me this question the other day, like, would you take the chance on Richardson? And not at 1.
No, in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Like, and that's insulting, I think, based on everything I'm hearing. But, like, I wouldn't even draft him in the top 3 rounds. He didn't win. He had terrible stats.
Yeah.
I don't care what his measurables are. You know who else had good measurables? Jamarcus Russell. He's terrible.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I wouldn't touch, like, I've said before, like, I don't know if he's going to be good. I'd love to see it play out for my team in case it is good, but at the right price. Like,
right.
if we hadn't gotten Derek Carr and we took him at 29, I'd be like, all right, what are we doing here? I don't know about that. Even at 29, I wouldn't feel good about Richardson.
I wouldn't either. I really wouldn't.
If you want the excitement, I'd take Malik Cunningham at the end of the draft and hope for the best.
Oh, I've done that in all of my mock drafts. Yeah, just because, like,
right.
that. I think Malik Cunningham's got some tools. I mean, I don't know what he's going to bring to the NFL.
I've seen a lot of Malik Cunningham just because it's ACC football.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, I do like him. No, I don't know. I think between the two of them, maybe it's the looming Ohio State quarterback thing. I don't know what it is. For whatever reason, I lean Bryce Young. I just feel like, in my history, the way I look at things is I look at, like, I want someone who's, and this is insulting because C.J. Stroud is definitely a proven winner, but I want someone who's a proven winner. I felt the same way about Deshaun Watson back in the day. I was like, how is he not the first guy?
We've talked about that already.
It's stuff like that. It's like, okay, he doesn't have these tools or whatever. They're like, oh, Trubisky's arm, this, and that. And I'm like, okay, but this dude was a winner, and he's good as well. Like,
it just goes back to what we've said. Sometimes it doesn't. The measurables shouldn't matter as much as they do.
Right.
Sometimes it's just, can they win? Is the tape there? Now, sometimes there's the other side of that with, like, Tebow, where all he did was win.
Yeah. But he clearly wasn't a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? There are two sides of it, but no, I'm with you 100%. But I guess, like you said, Stroud he's a winner, whether it's only a year or whatever it is. I wouldn't be. You could, if you told me you wanted Bryce Young number 1, you wouldn't get any pushback from me at all. I don't know why I prefer C.J. Stroud. I just do.
Yeah.
But you could ask me this next week, I might tell you Bryce Young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've been Bryce Young from the beginning of time. It's definitely between those two. What kills me and really blows my mind is that you see my dog's going to get his shit kicked in. No, he's not. I would never do that to my puppy.
At PETA.
I would never do that. I would never do that. I love him. Anyways, I don't understand how you have people out there talking about even like Will Levis or like Anthony Richardson as a top pick above.
Listen,
there's people saying it, and I'm like, how? Does that make sense?
Will Levis puts mayo in his coffee. Keep him away from my team.
I want nothing to do with Will Levis.
Listen,
I want nothing, and it has nothing to do with the damn mayo in the coffee thing. I heard about that, but
no, I'm with you. Yeah, I'd prefer to take a chance on Will Levis than Richardson.
Well, because he's an actual quarterback,
right? But no, I'm with you. It's those two. Honestly, I'm blanking on the TCU quarterback's name. I'd almost prefer him. I'd almost prefer him to the other than Richardson and
yeah.
because
Why not?
Yeah,
That's how I feel though. Like between the three of them, I'm like, I don't know. Like,
yeah,
Richardson's like uber talented. Okay, maybe
it's definitely one
Levis,
of those drafts
like,
where it's the top two, and then
right,
who knows?
right. I totally agree. I totally agree.
It was a good draft talk.
Yeah, we did that last week too. We had some draft talk. Look at us.
A little bit. Yeah.
Look at us.
I'm doing a lot of mock drafts, and what I'm trying to do is when a player comes up, if I feel like it's a position the Saints need, I'll go watch some highlights. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, I've been doing the same.
Because I watch college football, but I don't watch enough of it to know like these defensive linemen. I could tell you the skill players on offense, who's good and who's not. I don't know the defensive players.
I don't either, and the more I read about the guys in the Saints range, if we go back to that, I don't feel comfortable with any of them, to be completely honest. They all seem like they have a lot of like downside. It's like, oh, they could be good, but like this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And like I'm trying to think of like Will McDonald, right? Like is that the guy that's got like 2 years of actual
I don't know how many
experience.
He's definitely, I know he's one that at least in mock drafts is in that range.
Yeah.
That seems to be there.
He's got. I think he's the guy who's got like 2 years of actual experience, or maybe more than that, but it's not a lot. And like his measurables aren't like phenomenal. So like normally a guy like that, it's like, oh, he's just uber athletic and like he's got this huge upside. It's just like he's okay. He played really well.
Right. Maybe this is unfair of me to do. I hope they don't take, if they go edge rusher, I hope they don't take somebody from a smaller school. It hasn't worked.
Not in the first round.
Right, it hasn't worked. It didn't work with Marcus Davenport. Now, he was a freak athletically and build-wise. Peyton Turner went to what, Houston?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go get your edge rusher, go get me somebody that's played big-time football.
I think the problem with that is those guys aren't lasting until pick 30.
So he's not an edge rusher, but like Mozzie Smith from Michigan is one that is in
okay.
He's in that first or second. I've seen him in round 2 even at our pick.
Yeah,
so
but
he's
now
somebody that
you're talking about an interior lineman. When you said edge rusher, I'm like, like those guys aren't there. Like,
there's a guy from like Kansas State that I thought was all right. Like I'm cool with Kansas State. It's just like UTSA. Like don't do that. Just don't do that again.
Yeah.
And especially don't trade up for him. I would prefer them trade up to go get one of these Georgia guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
If you're gonna go get a premier edge rusher, trade up to.
No pun intended. Go get you a dog. Like.
We got a dog.
Okay.
Jamal Williams.
We
He's
do.
a fucking dog.
Some dogs in here.
These tears.
Some dog in his mug.
All dog. Love it. Has Cam Jordan said anything about?
He did. He was like he tweets weird, like the way Cam Jordan talks.
But I love Cam Jordan. He's the type of dude that he will address it. So
he said something like, "Well, I said he balled out." You know, it's basically
he's like, "What y'all want from me?"
Yeah.
Like,
it's
all love now.
You want to move on from draft talk a little bit? We've been going for.
What we got?
It'll be a little bit longer of an episode. We're at 52 minutes.
Oh, we can close this out. Let's do it.
I got a couple things.
All right.
I have one non-sports thing, just a quick story of mine, and I have one sports one. So which one do you want me to go with real quick? One is the sports one is a question to you.
All right. Can we do them quick? I want to do
the first one will definitely be quick.
Do it.
All right. So just real quick. I don't know if you saw or not. I tweeted the other day I started watching that MH370 doc on Netflix.
Yeah. Wait, before you say anything, I'm on a flight next Thursday.
Listen.
Do we need to talk about this?
We don't have to, but I'm going.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Close your ears if you don't want to hear it. So anybody who doesn't know, this is the plane that disappeared out of thin air in 2014. I haven't finished it yet. I've only gotten through like 2 episodes, partially because I fell asleep watching it. The other reason is because my number one fear in life is flying. Snakes are number 2. Fun fact.
So third, you hated snakes on a plane.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Third, I don't like people touching my belly button. We can go with that. Number 1, though, flying. I did not expect this documentary to turn into a horror film for me. So what happens? This is not a spoiler. Like, this happened in life. I don't know what to say. It's not a spoiler alert. When I get on a plane, my fear is that something is going to fail with the plane, right? The first thing they talk about as a theory is that the pilot just decided he was going to wake up that day and kill all of them. So now as I get on a plane. You're telling me not only do I need to worry about the failing of the plane, I have to worry that the pilot's not a fucking psychopath and wants to kill me. And as I swear to God, I'm watching the first 2 episodes, and I was getting the same feeling I would get as if I was watching The Exorcist. I was like, no, this is terrifying. I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to know all the possibilities that could happen with me getting on a Southwest flight and just disappearing off the face of the earth. I don't want it to happen to me. So I stopped watching the documentary because I was terrified. I'll go back to it eventually, but I needed the reset.
Do you know like what happened though? Like, have you read?
I haven't gotten that far yet. No.
I'm not talking about the documentary. Like,
I don't remember what happened.
I won't spoil it for you. It's factual history.
Yeah,
like I read about it.
No, I understand that. It's just definitely my buddy was asking me about this. It's definitely a conspiracy theory doc. It's probably something you would love.
I would absolutely
because they
love that, actually.
It seems like the way they're going to do it is every episode they're going to give you a theory. The first theory is that he just flew south into the ocean and whatever.
Right.
And then they give you the reasons why that's not what happened. So, but anyway, just that got to me, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like that I never took into account the mental health of other people. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Great.
I just thought it was weird that a documentary had that effect on me.
Excuse my yawning. I'm going to be so overly nice to everyone when I get on the plane next Thursday. Oh, where's the pilot? Hey, buddy. You doing good? Cool,
you know
man.
What? You say that. That's how I live my life. People say it all the time. You don't know who's having a bad day.
You don't.
I try not to, except for the lady that tried to run me off the road the other day. I hope she hits a tree. Listen, we're not going to get into that because I'll be here all day.
It's fine.
Just know I wished evil on her.
We all have our moments.
Yeah. Anyway, my last thing, it's March Madness. I was going to ask you if you cared about March Madness. I assumed you didn't because we have never once, not even off pod, talked about college basketball.
Yeah.
This isn't my question to you. It's not about March Madness.
Go into your question, and I'll touch both.
So it's March Madness, one of the most exciting times on the calendar, even if you're not a fan of college basketball. WBC, World Baseball Classic, another exciting thing. What are your maybe like top 3 most exciting times of the sports year?
Ooh. Well,
this can be a quick
without my team.
Yeah, no, just in general, just like your favorite times of sports. You want me to give you a
You can give me yours, but I have some stuff that comes to mind.
Go ahead.
My 3?
Sure. I mean,
is that what you said? I don't know if you said 3. The first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is like World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup is fucking exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not even a soccer guy. It's so exciting. I love it. Anytime like national stuff like that. NBA Finals is always fun for me. I regardless of who's playing, I love it. I don't know if I have another one that's like
I'm not
huge.
even so. Yeah, I agree with you on like World Cup is one. I look at it as so like that time of year. What is it, like October, where you have all the sports. That time of the where it's just week after week, or every weekend you have unlimited amounts of. If you like hockey, you get hockey. If you like baseball, you get baseball. You know what I mean? Like you're in World Series, the heat of the NFL season. Hockey's starting up. That time of the year is awesome for anybody who likes all the sports. WBC is one that I like a lot.
So were you asking me like time of year?
No, just World Cup is something that I agree with, but I look at that time of year as just an exciting time. Like I love that time of the sports.
Right. Well, also World Cup's not every year.
Yeah, but no, World Cup is an event that I like. I wasn't necessarily asking you for a singular event or a specific time of year. Just what do you look forward to most in sports? Just in the time. Like for me, I look forward to that one time of year. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have something to watch, and it's gonna be fun.
Well, Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, even if you're not watching for the game, the halftime show or whatever, it's always an event. It's fun.
Yeah. From what the fuck just happened?
Go get them. I don't know. My dogs are protected. Watch dogs.
The World Cup. Maybe the Olympics. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I used to be bigger on it. You know, I've really fallen out of like Like the overall, like, you have to watch this random sport. Like Olympics, yeah. Like my wife will be like, "Oh, we should watch this." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. All right, I like sports. Let's do it."
Yeah. I think if I had to give you three, it would be just that time of year. Like I said, probably World Cup. I like soccer, but I'm not like a diehard soccer fan.
Right.
But you know how it is when World Cup comes around. Everybody loves soccer.
Yeah.
And then it would be great if the United States was good. That'd be fun.
You know what though? I don't even care when it comes to that stuff in group stage.
Listen.
I pick a random team and I
listen. The championship this year was one of the greatest sporting events I've ever seen in my life.
For WBC?
No, for the World Cup.
For World Cup. Yeah, yeah.
Messi and Mbappe. Oh,
I missed it.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
Listen,
I was in Disney, I think.
It almost made me want to wake up early on Sunday mornings to see if the Champions League was like that.
Dude.
I say almost because I haven't done any.
I actually would do that. If I had friends that wanted to get up and watch the Champions League every Sunday morning, I would do that. It's like 8 a.m. though. Isn't it? It's like
I wouldn't even have to get up because I'm usually up.
But if we're being real, like I'm up too. I'm up at like 6 or 7. But like I'm not ready to hang out with people at 8 a.m.
Right.
Like
no, you're right. So yeah, World Cup. I wouldn't have had a third. WBC took a turn off because the last one was 2020. COVID, it got canceled. WBC is a blast.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll say this and then we can wrap it up. Because like people are, with the injury to Edwin Diaz, you're seeing a lot of people get on there and be like, "It was a meaningless game," whatever. And it's all Americans saying that.
I have thoughts on that.
What American people don't understand is they had that video going around. They were talking to the Dominican Republic players. They asked them whether they would prefer to win the World Series or the World Baseball Classic, and not a single one of them said the World Series. Not one. Like, they don't understand that baseball is the sport for these countries.
Yeah, I agree.
If you watch the game, that Puerto Rico-Dominican Republic game was in Miami the other day, and it was the best atmosphere for baseball I've ever seen.
I ask people, and I know the answer already. I ask people when they say shit like that, have you ever been to a cookout with a bunch of Dominicans or Puerto Ricans where you're at a baseball field and you're literally just playing baseball? There's music playing in the background, eating some good food. I ask this because I've been a part of this.
I have not, but I can imagine what is. I appreciate their love for baseball.
The culture, the love for baseball is unrivaled there. Like it's you think so these Americans, right, that are saying that stuff, like you think you're a diehard for football or college football or college basketball. It's March Madness, whatever. You think you're a diehard for that stuff. I'm telling you.
It goes so much deeper for that. Like, baseball is literally an escape from their country.
It's
sometimes,
amazing.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is. I haven't seen a single foreign person say anything bad about, like, because what happened is when Diaz got hurt, now everybody in America wants to cancel WBC because they're Mets fans. You know what I mean? That's all it is. But
injuries happen. It sucks. But
you even got like Mike Trout and Mookie Betts up there saying like, "Come play. Like, this shit is a blast."
Right.
Granted, Mike Trout has to play for the Angels, so this is the most winning he's ever done. Fun fact: he was responsible for all 3 runs. So not only is he carrying the Angels, he's carrying the American team as a whole.
That's terrible. It's like I hear that and I'm like, is it a Mike Trout thing? And I'm like, no, that's impossible because it's baseball. He directly cannot affect the other players.
Shohei the other day was also responsible for the fastest pitch and the fastest exit velocity on a hit.
And they're on the same team. That can't win.
Yeah. But nope, that's all
It's
I got.
insane.
We're over an hour already. Probably less than that because we were fucking around beforehand. But
yeah, if we want to ever talk baseball culture in different countries, I am all in on that. If we want to talk Major League Baseball,
it's almost baseball season.
I'm bored with Major League Baseball, to be completely honest with you. Like,
we've been saying for months we're going to get into a baseball talk.
And
it's almost baseball season.
We'll do it. We'll do it soon. We can close this out. Actually, we'll do this way.
Yeah.
We'll get Chrissy, who's with Be in the Know. She started writing for us a couple months ago.
You were supposed to be on this week, and
once
again we failed to plan.
Yeah, it's all right. we'll figure it out. We'll get in person too, and we'll do it. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have some drinks. We'll eat some good food. We'll get her. We'll talk baseball. I know there's a lot of stuff we can dive into there. I grew up on baseball. Heavy background, so I can have the conversation. I know you're a big baseball fan. She's a big baseball fan. So we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll figure it out. No, I'm out of town next week. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's it. Follow me at the Patty V.
At the Dave Rainey.
Yeah, you can also follow at Be in the Know on Twitter.
We're pumping out content. We're starting to find a groove.
We are more for the know in general than just our podcast, but we still got some stuff with the podcast coming. Don't think that we're forgetting this. This is my baby. You know, I'm doing both.
Nope, I'm with you.
So
happy 316 day.
Happy 316.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Oh hell yeah!
Later.